Good day, students. Today we are going to study the differences between literal language and figurative language. It is important that you can differentiate between the two and identify when someone is using literal or figurative language so that you can understand the meaning of their message. Let's first take a look at literal language. Literal language is quite simple to understand. It uses the actual meaning of words or phrases in their exact sense. Or in other words, it means exactly what the words mean. Literal language is straightforward and to the point. It is precise in telling the reader exactly what the point of the message is. Let's look at some examples of literal language. Examine the sentences to identify if they say exactly what they mean. The sun is yellow. The grass looks green. The mountain is large. The cake looks delicious. In each sentence, the message is precise and gives us exactly the meaning of each sentence. This is literal language. To contrast, in figurative language, the sentence is structured for the listener or reader to draw a conclusion. Figurative language uses figures of speech, such as similes and metaphors, to make the message persuasive or to have a greater impact on the reader. Figurative language can be much more meaningful than literal language. Let's consider some examples of figurative language. Remember, we are trying to determine the deeper meaning of these sentences. Her cheeks were as red as a rose. What does this sentence mean? Does she have roses on her cheeks? Are her cheeks made of roses? The literal message we can identify here is that her cheeks were red, but the sentence doesn't end there. It goes on to compare her cheeks with the color of a rose. As red as a rose gives us more meaning from the sentence, and it crafts a much more compelling description. Therefore, we can draw the conclusion that her cheeks were so red they could be compared to the color of a rose. Let's look at another example. He is a shining star. Here we have a direct comparison of he to a shining star. Shining stars are known to shine and stand out amidst the darkness of night. We can therefore determine that he shines or excels in something that he participates in. Let us look at some other examples of figurative language. Try to identify how the sentences compare something to create an interesting description. From these examples, we have seen how figurative language uses an ordinary sentence to refer to something without directly stating it. In the following 10 sentences, read each sentence and determine if literal or figurative language is used. Literal language gives us exact meaning. Figurative language always has a deeper meaning. You can now proceed to the next lesson, Similes Part 1.